It's been a rainy, overcast weekend here in Melbourne, but it's not dampened the passion and enthusiasm of this massive Aussie crowd. Everybody's into it here. Tremendous enthusiasm. A great place for the World Championship to start. You know what's coming, don't you? Ready? You ready? Let's go! Fantastic start by one of the Benzels. Ralph Schumacher challenges Barrichello. Michael Schumacher's got a poor start, but Ralph is motoring into second place, and he hits Rubens Barrichello. Huge accident! Oh my goodness! Rubens rear wings off. There goes Ralph Schumacher. And I think I'm going to have to restart it. There's an absolute yes. And one of the Benzels is on fire. That's Jenson Button. Martin.
Total carnage. It started with Ralph hitting the back of Barrichello, flying into the air, and then everybody shunting behind in sympathy. And what you're going to see is Rubens coming over to take the line, and he pulls. In fact, no, that was... Yes, in fact, it was Rubens. He'd moved over to the right-hand side of the grid and started to decelerate for turn one and just completely caught Ralph out. Ralph clearly nowhere near the, getting on the brakes and just reared straight up the back. And there is Michael coming across the gravel. Coulthard in the lead of the race then. And then just carnage behind as everybody jumps on the brakes, and cold tyres, cold brakes, a lot of inertia, full tanks of fuel. You just can't slow them down. What a mess.
David Coulthard in the lead then. He's got a good drive out of the final corner. Jarno Trulli is second. Montoya is third. Michael Schumacher, the danger man, in fourth place. Eddie Irvine for Jagger in fifth. De La Rosa sixth. Sato up in seventh place, and Mark Webber in eighth. But watch Montoya. Already he's looking racy. Already he looks like he's going to make a challenge on Trulli.
And this is the difficult part of the restart now. Their tyre pressures will be down 4 or 5 psi. Montoya very slow there. Has he got a problem? Or did he just outbrake himself in having a look around Jarno Trulli? But that's allowed and released Michael Schumacher immediately. And Michael then with a superb position for a slipstream down the pit straight. And the Ferrari is not particularly quick in a straight line because they're running so much wing. That's why they're fast around there, so much downforce.
David Coulthard is pulling out faster sector times. He's now 4.5 seconds clear of Jarno Trulli. Make that 6.6 as Trulli crosses the line. Schumacher not close enough this time, and Coulthard is getting away at the front.
Well, the one clear overtaking spot, I think. Oh, and he's lost it. Trulli's lost it on the exit, and that is surprising to see. What a bad mistake there for Jarno Trulli. Really poor mistake. Surprising with traction control that he was able to get it that far out of shape. It really was. So that's bad news for Coulthard. 6 seconds up front, but he needed Jarno Trulli to hold up Michael Schumacher.
It's another racing incident. I mean, I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose. He just tried to defend his position without thinking what he was doing.
We have
you
a
come
restart.
around another first corner incident, don't you? That has simply two reasons: that the drivers learn to be a bit more cautious into the first corner and into the second.
And we have a restart here in Melbourne, Australia. Sorry, we're trying to cut through that interview, but the communications wouldn't allow us to. David Coulthard's gone off the track, a brake lockup. As you can see, Michael Schumacher there behind him, and Juan Montoya in third place just makes his way through as Schumacher's grandstanding watching David Coulthard go off. Michael Schumacher seems to have the edge through this final sequence of the lap. He gets alongside Juan Montoya. Maybe Montoya's just playing with him, who knows, because he knows he has the extra power down the straight.
Yeah, Montoya had to go defensive, and it cost himself a lot of time. And Michael with a good slipstream, but we saw he couldn't even overtake the Renault down there. So Montoya, I don't think it'll be an easy car to pass in a straight line.
Did you see him look in his right mirror there? It was like he was saying, "Come on, if you think you're hard enough, come on."
Yeah, but hang on, he's still having a look. Michael has so much more confidence under braking.
They both will know now that Kimi Räikkönen, another pretty feisty customer, is closing up behind them. He's got a point to prove, hasn't he, on his debut for McLaren, to show that he's the worthy successor of Mika Häkkinen in that car. Now Michael Schumacher right under the gearbox of Juan Montoya as they come down to turn one. He goes to the outside line. Montoya blocks. He takes a tighter line on the exit. Michael Schumacher is alongside him, side by side out of turn two, and Schumacher is through into the lead. Juan Montoya into second place. A great move, Martin.
It was. Montoya just took too long being defensive. You're only allowed to move across once, but he didn't need to stay to the right that long. Yeah, I think McLaren have to learn about really how to maximise that front tyre. It seems as if we saw it all through last year. We think Coulthard has finally ground to a halt. Yes, he has. Salo needs to stay calm and just get nicely in the slipstream zone of that Minardi, which surely he is, and he should. He lost a bit, didn't he, on the traction on the exit? And now it's going to be touch and go whether he can get down that pit straight. Nowhere near having a go, is he? He did not have the drive off the last corner. Mark Webber will be very pleased to know that. Salo did not have the traction off the last corner, even if he had the grunt down the straight.
Well, it's very interesting, Martin, because I was listening to Salo doing his practice starts, and it didn't seem to me that the traction control... Salo spun it! Oh, Australia rejoice! I'm sorry, Mika Salo, I'm not against you, but Australia certainly is. He's thrown it away with 2 laps to go, and Webber can really put the hammer down now. Martin.
There he is, he went in too deep, got onto the marbly stuff on the outside, and a simple little spin. He's not going to lose a position over it, Mika Salo. He'll stay 6th.
3 years in a row in Australia, Ferrari have won once again. Michael Schumacher wins the 2002 Australian Grand Prix. Wonderful performance by him. Juan Montoya is going to finish in 2nd place. He's 24 seconds behind on the road. And Kimi Raikkonen, on his debut for McLaren, will get the final podium position. 2 arms aloft, though, for Michael. And watch the grandstand. Webber punches the air. The grandstand stand. Yes! Advance Australia, fair, you've done it, boy. Fair dinkum. Mark Webber finishes in 5th place. It's a dream for Australia, a dream for Mark Webber, and a dream for Paul Stoddart, the owner of Minardi. He may never have a better chance to score 2 points than that. Well, he's certainly in the right place now. He leads the World Championship with 1 round down. What conclusions can we draw from the performance here this weekend? We'll be asking questions as we go to Malaysia in 2 weeks' time. It's a great start for Schumacher, but it's a dream for Minardi and Mark Webber.
Brand new season, brand new dawn for Formula One. It's the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. Brilliant start then for Charles Leclerc, and Lewis Hamilton already trying to get past Carlos Sainz, but it's Leclerc on the inside ahead of Verstappen. Carlos Sainz stays in 3rd, Perez on the inside now with Lewis Hamilton. There's a little bit of a kerfuffle going on through turn 2, but Leclerc makes it into the lead, and Hamilton has got half a car length, now a whole car length ahead of Sergio Perez, and now he's been challenged as Perez by Kevin Magnussen. Leclerc into turn 4 from Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton on the inside now of Kevin Magnussen, and then comes Perez and Russell.
Yes, Perez got out of shape coming out of turn 2, had to get out of the throttle. That cost him 2 places in the end as he tried to get back up alongside Lewis Hamilton.
Meanwhile, the FIA stewards have decided Esteban Ocon should be given a 5-second penalty for causing a collision. That, I think, goes along with what the FIA was saying from those guidelines. Sergio Perez is trying to get a bit closer to Kevin Magnussen himself, and we'll see with these new regulations whether it is much easier to follow. As a lock up there from Kevin Magnussen going into turn 1 gives half a sniff to Sergio Perez to try and get past. He couldn't do it out of turn 3, but he might on the run now down to turn 4. Magnussen moves to the inside to try and cut him off. Perez is going to have to go the long way round. Magnussen's got that one covered, and as Perez can get him on the exit of turn 4, and Perez, the wily old campaigner, might be a front tyre ahead going down the hill. He's now a whole car ahead going down the hill. Magnussen gave him the chance. Perez said thank you very much.
As Sergio Perez there getting...
That's Hamilton and Perez.
Yeah.
Look, Hamilton's got DRS here. He's going to have a go into turn 4. That is an awful lot easier than it might have been this time last year. A Red Bull and a Mercedes going wheel to wheel into turn 4. Perez stays within the white lines. Max Verstappen couldn't manage it 12 months ago. Perez up to 4th place. Lap 17, and the fastest lap of this race goes to Max Verstappen, who's going now for the lead of the race, and in a shower of sparks makes his way into turn 1 ahead of Charles Leclerc. Tried to get past Leclerc as he came out of the pits, had to wait a lap, but now can Leclerc with DRS get back at Verstappen? We're heading towards turn 4. This has been a bit of a problem for these two in the past. No problem this time for Charles Leclerc. Can he stay on track? Now it's just as he retakes the lead from Max Verstappen.
And Leclerc immediately tries to move around to break the slipstream. And you can do that gently once or twice, but you can't do it at the last moment. And has he covered
He's doing it again, he's going for it again, Max Verstappen, and he's got a quarter of a car length in front. Now they come out of turn 2, and he's got a couple of car lengths in front, Max Verstappen. That was so far back, but once again, Leclerc's got the DRS. This time he's got the inside line, forces Max a little bit wide, goes into turn 4. Leclerc, for the second lap running, has retaken the lead and has come out of turn 4 ahead. This is absolutely epic.
Leclerc's using his battery pack in an attack or defensive mode rather.
Here he goes,
Look
here he
at that.
goes,
It's
here he
miles
goes. He's
different.
doing it.
It's miles different.
Oh.
Oh, that's a big old lock up, Max.
Well, this time he locks up, but did you hear the cheers of the crowd who are absolutely loving this under the lights in Bahrain? This time around, Charles Leclerc, with the aid of that lock-up, has got the advantage going into turn 4, and he should be far enough ahead to keep that advantage as well.
Max, is the wheel heavy in both directions, so both left hand and right hand?
Everywhere. It's not even smooth.
Well, he's going to slow down because we're going to get a safety car here because Pierre Gasly's Alpha Tauri has overheated and has caught fire. The marshal straight on there with the extinguisher, but that is a very, very hot Alpha. Real disappointment for him, and we could see, Martin.
Yeah, it's a complete power failure. Look, from his dashboard's gone completely, so it's not an engine blow. And this is Max's favourite trick, isn't it?
Yep.
Trying to hustle the guy who's about it, and he's left himself very tight on that last corner, actually, has Max.
And
so
it's
no
not
wonder
helped.
the Ferrari disappeared.
It's not helped, and look, Sainz is right on the tail of Max Verstappen as they head down the straight. Leclerc is away and off into the distance. Sainz is alongside Max Verstappen. Leclerc leads, Verstappen on the inside, Sainz on the outside. Verstappen stays ahead, going into turn 1. Sergio Perez almost collected by Lewis Hamilton, who was arriving at a rate of knots, but now it's Leclerc towards turn 4 from Verstappen. Then comes Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez, Hamilton, Russell, and then Kevin Magnussen.
Mate, what's going on with the battery?
Battery fine.
No, it's not. I have no real... What the f*** is this?
Carlos Sainz pulls out to the inside and overtakes Max Verstappen, and it's a Ferrari 1-2 here in Bahrain as Carlos Sainz moves up into second place. 46 races since they last won. Ferrari are 1-2 here.
We can see the issue, Max. It's not battery related.
What do you want me to do?
There's not a lot we can do.
And will Verstappen now be passed by his teammate Sergio Perez? Yes, he has been. And he's been passed by Hamilton, and he's been passed by Russell.
Okay, try to make it into the pit lane, please, Max.
Max Verstappen is out of the race.
I'm losing power.
Hamilton's got DRS once again, and can he get close enough to Sergio Perez? Not on this occasion. You can see the bumps and the porpoising there that is just unsettling the car into that first braking zone, and Perez has been spun round. Sergio Perez has lost it on turn 2. Hamilton, looking for damage limitation, has seen the damage to the Red Bull, and he's going to pick up another podium. This is incredible, and it was just under traction.
I love the engine.
Charles Leclerc, who's won twice in Formula 1 before from pole, is going to win from pole again and start the season off with celebrations for Ferrari. Charles Leclerc wins the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it is a 1-2 finish for the Scuderia. Carlos Sainz comes home in second. Lewis Hamilton adds to his podium tally. He comes home in third.
Let's go! Let's go! Come on! That's exactly how we should start a season. Come on! 1-2, baby! 1-2! Yeah!
Will be in Jeddah in 7 days' time for more racing. Ferrari go into it with a perfect start to the new season. Win, second place, fastest lap, and all the smiles belong to the Scuderia tonight. And it's away we go. Sebastian Vettel gets a decent start. Massa flying behind Mark Webber. Lewis Hamilton covers off Fernando Alonso. As into turn 1 we go now. Nico Rosberg on the inside challenges Alonso. Vettel is clear of any trouble. Massa up to second place. And going off onto the grass there is Daniel Ricciardo in the Toro Rosso. Vettel streaming away. Hamilton under pressure from Alonso as down into turn 3 we go. Hamilton with the inside line. Massa is sandwiched in between his teammate.
Great start from the Ferraris as per last year. Awful start from Mark Webber, and here it is. So down into 13. Will Massa yield on his... Oh, look at that.
Big lock up from Lewis Hamilton. Kimi Raikkonen forced wide. Lewis Hamilton just stays ahead of him, but by the skin of his teeth as they go through turn 13 and 14.
Massa kept it then, so Massa stayed ahead of Alonso. He's not yielding at all unless they tell him at some point later in the race. He will not give up, and I don't blame him. He's been flying all weekend.
So Vettel leads round the first lap and is 2 seconds clear of Felipe Massa in second place from Fernando Alonso. Here goes Kimi Raikkonen again on Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton has got the inside line and just manages to stay in fourth place behind Alonso, ahead of Raikkonen in fifth.
And here's a replay of the start. You can see Mark Webber at the front of the queue on the right hand side, just getting mugged from every direction basically. Then when you're out of kilter in terms of speed, you're out of synchronization, it's really difficult not to have an accident at that point. And somehow and unusually we saw no contact in turn 1 or turn 3.
Yeah, Perez did very well to avoid contact with Adrian Sutil as he looked off his brakes. Watch Lewis Hamilton blocking off Fernando Alonso there. Alonso kind of leaving himself in no man's land there and unable to get past his faster starting teammate. There's Sebastian Vettel, and there's the gap back to second place. DRS available on the next lap, of course, and Kimi Raikkonen through on Lewis Hamilton. So Raikkonen moves up into fourth place, and this is how Kimi Raikkonen managed to get past Lewis Hamilton. Went the long way round and just about squeezed past the front wing of that Mercedes. We have the Ferrari coming into the pits, Fernando Alonso. So they've decided it's time to do something slightly different for the double world champion. Comes out 7th.
So he'll have the undercut on Massa now, but they were catching Vettel. He really needs a good lap.
And there goes through the Ferrari of Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel.
No, he's done it. He's done it around
Alonso
the outside.
goes past Sutil. Vettel now behind both of them.
Well, either we go for it now and you see what you can do. Now you've got a free track in front of you. Let's see what you can do.
So no intention there, you would imagine, to bring Felipe Massa in the next half a lap. Either way, his teammate Fernando Alonso, by coming in early, has managed to jump the previous race leader Adrian Sutil and Sebastian Vettel pretty much at the same time. Right on board with him, has DRS available on the run down towards turn 3, getting ever closer. Can he get past on the inside? Brilliant under braking. Has he gone too deep? No, he hasn't. Excellent stuff from Sebastian Vettel, and Adrian Sutil is finally behind him. Massa comes in now. He was 20 seconds or so ahead of his teammate Fernando Alonso as Kimi Raikkonen now leads this race. Oh dear. Williams beached and in the gravel. Pastor Maldonado, who ended his Australian Grand Prix by hitting the wall this time last year and has ended up on the beach far too early in the gravel and out of the race. Oh, what's that? The Mercedes going off?
Left rear puncture, is it?
It is. Rosberg is out of the Australian Grand Prix.
He should be quick out of 12 though, should Alonso, and he'll flick left now, and he's got a chance then breaking down the outside.
Well, Hamilton's got the inside line here, locks up, he's going far too fast, but in the end he manages to keep the car under control and stay ahead of the Ferrari. Not going to win the battle, win the war I should say in the end. Won a couple of battles, and he's now got Sebastian Vettel right behind him as well. So Alonso picked his moment and gets past, and Hamilton dives into the pits. Kimi Raikkonen about to come in for a pit stop, you would feel. Yes, he is. But he's back out into the race again. Comes out behind Felipe Massa in 5th place, which is where they would have expected. But it's a decent gap, isn't it, that he can run in.
It's all about now just what kind of incredible pace Alonso's got to stop Raikkonen winning this Grand Prix.
And Fernando Alonso into the pits, and plenty of attention on this particular pit stop as Adrian Sutil passes the line once again and retakes the lead of this Australian Grand Prix, and Kimi Raikkonen is through past the line as well, and Alonso back out into the race. And there's Lewis Hamilton being passed by Sebastian Vettel. Vettel moves himself up into 4th place with Felipe Massa right on Hamilton's heels as well.
Sutil leads again.
Alonso is catching Raikkonen at a rapid rate of knots as we go on board with Mark Webber in 9th place. Here we go again. He's going to try down into the chicane.
Into T9.
Under braking.
Brave stuff there from Mark Webber, taking no prisoners whatsoever. So that's Raikkonen then taking the lead back from Adrian Sutil.
And that's how Kimi Raikkonen got close to Adrian Sutil, but plenty of daylight between them, no contact whatsoever. And Raikkonen into the lead, but now watching Fernando Alonso chasing.
Just 4.5 behind, 4.5 seconds it is now.
This is helping Raikkonen, of course.
Such a short braking zone for turn 1, it's not really a legitimate overtaking place, but turn 3 is.
Easy peasy, and he moves through, does Fernando Alonso, and he has now got round about 13 and a half laps to get to Kimi Raikkonen and challenge for the lead. Hamilton dives down the inside, they're still waving the blue flags for Adrian Sutil, and Mark Webber now might just complete Sutil's misery. Hamilton has passed him, and Webber, by the time we get into the next turn, could well do exactly the same. Webber's on the marbles though, that's not where you want to be entering turn 11, that close to the inside, and that won't help the grip levels on the Red Bull.
No, that was crucial there, because Mark needed to clear him quickly if he wants to stay on to Hamilton. But he's got track position now, but Mark's been off in this Grand Prix on that corner before, but this time the pass is made. Sutil has got no grip, no traction. Look what Kimi Raikkonen's just done. 29-2, game, set and match. Raikkonen has just put manners on Alonso to say, forget it, you're not getting anywhere near me.
A first win of the season in the opening race of the season when he stood on top of the podium before. Here in Albert Park he was a Ferrari driver. Today he's beaten both of the Ferraris. Raikkonen wins the first Grand Prix of the season and starts off with absolute perfection. Fernando Alonso for Ferrari on the podium and ahead of Red Bull. Sebastian Vettel, the man who started out in front, the earlier leader, now comes home to complete the top 3. But what a feeling for Kimi Raikkonen and for Lotus. Raikkonen and Alonso and Vettel on the podium, smiles all around. And it's lights out and away we go, and Bottas gets away very nicely indeed. Verstappen alongside Lando Norris, Albon and Hamilton going wheel to wheel as Bottas through turn 1, and Norris goes ahead of Verstappen but off the track. Also off the track goes Charles Leclerc as well. Bottas leads, Verstappen's back in second, Norris behind him, Albon has Lewis Hamilton right alongside him as well, and then there's 3 abreast behind that, Perez and Vettel and also Carlos Sainz, as into turn 3 we go, and Norris pressurising Verstappen but having to stay behind.
Norris then, he tried to go around the outside. Verstappen was not leaving him any space, but look, he's got a great slipstream. No DRS, no drag reduction system for the first 2 laps, of course. And it's getting very close. Lewis really struggling in the back of the pack there. And Lewis then with DRS, he's going to be in great shape when it comes to the braking zone of turn 4. He might even be in 3rd place, and he is.
It didn't even need the braking zone of turn 4. DRS helping him blast past. Verstappen going slowly, and has he lost power? And he's desperately trying to get power back into that Red Bull. And he's urging it along and moving around in his seat, but is this Verstappen out of the race?
I keep saying I can't change it.
Okay, stand by, Max, for looking.
I keep getting out to stall.
Carlos Sainz on Charles Leclerc. The McLaren might have better speed coming up towards turn 3. They're going wheel to wheel. Leclerc's on the inside. Carlos Sainz will be his teammate next year and crashes into Sebastian Vettel this year. Sebastian Vettel spun round by the man who's replacing him at Ferrari.
Yeah, and Leclerc and Sainz teammates next year. I'm sorry, but Sebastian Vettel put his nose into a place it should not be.
On Friday, Perez was the 2nd fastest driver as he breezes past Lando Norris there. Before they get to turn 4, Sergio Perez has put the Racing Point up into 4th place. He was the 2nd fastest driver on the medium tyres. What has happened here to the Williams? Russell was having a very nice race indeed, going along in 12th place, and this is more mechanical issues. Safety car is coming out. Whoa, this is not what Mercedes wanted.
Do not miss this last 20 laps.
So Alex Albon, who has pitted for a set of tyres, the soft compound tyre, Alex Albon is one to watch now at the restart, isn't he? Valtteri Bottas leads as we cross the line and the green flags wave once more. From Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez and Alex Albon racing him towards turn 1. Then comes Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc right behind him. Behind Leclerc comes Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri. They didn't pit. Ocon didn't pit in 8th. And going wide there was Antonio Giovinazzi. Sainz did pit, he's 9th, Giovinazzi was 10th, might lose a place to Fiat. As into turn 3 we go, lock up there from Perez. Albon goes down the inside. There's a safety car on the track, but not at this moment. And they all slow down. Oh, and that's why Kimi Raikkonen's had a massive crash down the main straight. Right, so we're running on board with Sebastian Vettel.
It's
already off.
It's broken already.
The tyre actually came off the wheel.
Yeah, well, the tether didn't work because it's not a suspension problem. The wheels just plain fell. Where did that tyre go to?
Albon's got a slipstream on Lewis Hamilton. He might be in a chance here of overtaking. Going into turn 3, he's going to have to go the long way round. Perez is having to defend from Lando Norris as well. Great exit from Alexander Albon. He's got the soft compound tyre on. You would expect that. The hard tyre is on the Mercedes. Albon is all over the back of Hamilton, who once again forces in the long way round. Norris goes the long way round on Perez.
No,
and Albon again, no, with Lewis Hamilton. He's lost out once more, as it was in Brazil. He comes off second best. Hamilton forced Albon all the way round the outside.
This guy is such a solid.
The DRS is helping Sainz, it's helping Leclerc as well. Leclerc moves ahead of Carlos Sainz. Sainz is going to fight this one out, locks up on the inside. They don't touch. Leclerc moves around the outside, gets a bit twitchy on the exit of the corner, but moves into 4th place. Here goes Charles Leclerc down the inside on Sergio Perez. God, that was late. That was brilliant. Charles Leclerc into the podium places as Lewis Hamilton is given a 5-second penalty for causing a collision with Alex Albon. And if we're live on board here, that is Norris and Perez. And Norris has managed to get past Sergio Perez, and it was a bit bumpy going into turn 3, but he's managed to do it, and Perez is tumbling down the order. Bottas leads, Hamilton second on the road, but he gets a 5-second penalty. Then Leclerc, Norris and Perez, who also gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Lewis is coming back at Bottas now.
Oh no, and Daniel Kvyat's out of the race. And Daniel Kvyat is out of the race and out of harm's way as well. That's a rear wheel. The tyre shredded? Disintegrated?
That's about curb. That's about running curbs. Unless he was quite close to the Ferrari.
Well, I just wonder if Mercedes want to let Hamilton get past Bottas, give him clear air ahead, and just go and extend your advantage. At the moment, they've got about 6-7 tenths in hand on Lando Norris, who could finish on the podium yet, because Hamilton's going to take a 5-second penalty. But that's what they've got to watch for, Mercedes.
Yeah.
71 laps out of 71 here. Chaos and carnage at times, but Valtteri Bottas wins the season opener here in Austria. It is a Mercedes 1-2 on the road, but Hamilton will not keep second place. He gets a 5-second penalty. Charles Leclerc, after a miserable weekend so far for Ferrari, gets on the podium, and Lando Norris gets on the podium for the first time in Formula One because of Lewis Hamilton's penalty, and by a tenth of a second, Lando Norris is a podium sitter. McLaren are on the podium, and what a start to the season this has been. I've really enjoyed those 71 laps. Should we do it again next week?
Yeah, let's do it exactly again next week. It's not often I get so engrossed in a race I didn't even notice it was the last lap.
Well, that makes 2 of us. All good things come to those who wait, I said a while ago. Well, in terms of racing entertainment, the Austrian Grand Prix today, that was a very good thing indeed.
We're away in Melbourne for 2009. It's Jenson Button, an awful start there by Rubens Barrichello. Jenson Button streaks forward. Vettel's there as well. Master's trying to come through on the outside as well. Rosberg's up in close attendance as well, up into 3rd place. Or there is actually Kubica has come back as well. Dreadful start for Rubens Barrichello, and there's all sorts of mayhem at the first corner. But Jenson Button is away.
And here we go then with a replay. There's the squeeze. Heidfeld, Mark Webber, who then hits Kovalainen, and Alonso I think was in there too. And more contact further back with the Toro Rossos. This is from on board Rubens Barrichello, and well, the system just didn't work. He got brave when it was him that started it off. So it was Barrichello getting in to the side of Mark Webber, and Rubens doing all of the damage and getting away with it. He was the one who emerged from this carnage. 7 or 8 cars caught up in that. I think Piquet's spotted now where Hamilton's got the extra speed. Look at that, slipstream Kurz, and that's what we were hoping to see. Whether it means anything or not is another matter, but that's what Kurz is about. So difficult to overtake into that first corner, but he's done it. Look, he's just pushed his way through, and that was great driving from Rosberg, responding immediately then to the hurry up that he had. And will Barrichello have a slither up the inside of turn 3 now? And he's trying, and he's slightly out of control, and he's going to whack the Ferrari. He lost the back of the car, and he's lost the corner of his front wing. That might not do too much damage. It was the bit that was hanging off anyway. So Rubens Barrichello wants to fight with everybody today.
Nakajima's had a big moment there. That's at turn 3 and 4. Nakajima into the wall.
Here we go. This is turn 3 then, with Nakajima, who is rather accident prone, it has to be said. And what's he going to do? I don't think that was his fault. Where do you brake for the first corner when you don't know how much grip you're going to have when you get there? Very cautiously they go in there. They're still trying to warm their tyres.
Rosberg going through on the inside there, on the inside there of Piquet, and Piquet's got off then. Rosberg sized him up on the inside, trying to come through. Piquet lost it. Did they touch? Didn't quite see, but Rosberg seemed to have him on the inside then as they came down.
Still, the brakes just went crazy and I spun.
Rosberg hasn't got any grip from those super soft tyres, truly on the hard. Button is making it work up front. Rosberg's car won't, and he has no ability to slow the car down or accelerate it. Hamilton through then, and that is up into 7th place. Oh, he's braked early. He's braked very early. There's going to be contact there, surely.
Oh, yes, there is. There goes Kubica, and there goes Vettel. That's the last thing they needed to do. Vettel's lost his front wing, and Jenson Button will be romping clear now. That's the last thing they needed. You are spot on. There was contact, and there's problems, big problems. Oh, there's Vettel.
That's...
And it's Kubica gone as well.
Yeah, damaged right front, left front, and that's fallen off. So safety car will be instantly deployed. And Jenson Button, surely, is the victor of this Grand Prix. He's fighting a car that's on better tyres than him. I don't think he's got a huge amount to be sorry for right there, frankly. Kubica is about to head off to a big accident in turn 5 as well.
Jenson Button's a winner again. Brawn GP are winners on their first race appearance, and not only that, it's a 1-2 finish. Button from Barrichello. The smiles are on Ross Brawn. What a result, and history too.
Sensational job, Jensen. Fantastic. Well done. You deserve it.
That means masses, doesn't it? Remember 2006 Hungary? This is going to mean so much more. Everything just seemed to have gone away from him. Formula One career, team, it just seemed to have all gone horribly wrong. Remember Australia 2000 when he made his debut for Williams? And now here it is, 9 years later. He's a winner. He's on the top step.